Hello, space monkeys! I am BlueHighwind, and welcome to episode 3 of Freelancing, the show where I supposedly weekly talk about whatever random bullshit came out this week, except I missed it last week because, well, I guess I got to apologize about last week. I didn't do any blog stuff, I didn't do freelancing, I kind of didn't do anything. It was a shitty week for me, and I guess more positively, I started a job. Not a very good job, a pretty damn physically exhausting job, but a job nonetheless. I am covered in bruises, but there will be a paycheck soon enough. So, there's that. And it's been a little busy, you might have noticed, kind of lately in my life, just slightly busy. In the mornings, I have to go and drive my grandma to her treatments. That'll be over in a week. I gotta help babysit my little cousin, and, then there's this new job, and I'm probably going to need another job on top of that, because this ain't paying the bills. I mean, it helps, but really doesn't help pay the bills. So, yeah, a little crazy. The blog itself, of course, helps in no way, and, I love you guys if you read and you comment and you watch and you listen. You're great. Space monkeys, I have nothing but the highest love for all of you. However, I don't get any money, so, I mean, I put up the ads, it doesn't matter. You don't care about my financial business. What you care about is what I'm going to talk about. And what I am talking about to this time is the return of Game of Thrones. I originally was planning on doing this last week for the first episode, and kind of never happened. And unfortunately, I procrastinated, and I had shitty car troubles, and I was just not having a very good week, so I kind of took a short sabbatical from everything. I'll talk about it now. And it happens to be that this is a better time to talk about it, because last night's episode was way better. This is an episode that Twitter's going to love. I mean, it's always kind of that random sort of thing. There's this running meme that George R. R. Martin kills everybody's favorite characters. And so far this season, he has killed two fan favorites. Polliver, who you might remember as being one of Gregor Clegane's mercenary, murder kind of rapist dudes. He had a huge following, really big. I could see all the mornings, just all around the internet. Oh my god, Polliver's dead. And, of course, fan favorite, international superstar, Joffrey. Oh god, I was about to call him Joffrey Lannister. I keep doing that, by the way, amongst the Baratheon children. Technically, their last name is Baratheon, but come on, they're Lannister through and through. We know who their parents are, and we know that, the old king, he had nothing to do with this. It's difficult to, imagine it, because you think of it as the Lannister dynasty. The Lannisters are the one in charge. And at some point during this show, during its evolution, it kind of became the Lannister show. And this is kind of the same thing in the books. Not so much, actually, it's not so much in the books. It became much more in the series, because the series at some point kind of, I'm not going to go and say anything bad about, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. They are brilliant men, and they've done a really good job about adapting what is a very hard-to-film book series onto the television. My only real complaint is that HBO doesn't have $1 billion to give for every episode, so the scale's not quite large enough as I'd like, and a few characters disappear every so often. But, what's kind of happened in the show over the course of these seasons, and this is kind of a logical thing, is the focus, where in the books it was kind of more scattered, and there was kind of even connections amongst characters, so, you'd see a lot of Jon Snow at the Wall, you'd see a lot of Daenerys out in Essos, you'd see Arya wandering around the destructed ruins of the river country. And it was kind of all over the place. You kind of got a really balanced view of Westeros. In the show, it kind of became all about King's Landing. And I can see why they'd want to do that, because the Lannisters, to a man, are all great characters, except I guess for Kevin, because he hasn't even been cast, the poor bastard. But, yeah, you got Tyrion, you got Cersei, you got Joffrey, who, as much as you love to hate him, he was still very well acted and a very well written character for the most part. And you got Jamie, and you got Tywin. I mean, come on, these are all great characters, and the way they work against each other, the fact they kind of all hate each other on a little level, it's this great dysfunctional soap opera. It's like Dallas in medieval times. Not that I've ever seen Dallas. And I'm talking about old Dallas, not new Dallas. Is that even still in the air? New Dallas? Who fucking cares? It's soap opera. Soap operas are from decades ago. I'm just making a metaphor here. So, last night's episode, Joffrey died. And it was pretty glorious. I gotta say, after 4 seasons and so many years after reading the books, Joffrey's probably one of the least likable characters in the series. He winds up getting the most screen time. He's so petulant. He's such a fucking little bitch. You know, you just want to slap him across the face, as Tyrion did several times, or poison him at his wedding. By the way, spoilers are probably going to come out during this recording. Not just spoilers for the show, but spoilers for the books, because I've read all the way to Dance with Dragons, and to be fair, it's been years since I read the book, so my recollection might not be all that great, but spoilers are basically what you should expect anyway. If you really don't care about not being spoiled, don't really listen to things. I kind of hate this obsession with spoilers. You're also spoiled about them. Like, you deserve not to know. I mean, if you really don't want to know, get off the internet. Go look up My Little Pony or something. I don't know. So yeah, Red Wedding, not the Red Wedding, this is the Purple Wedding. Kind of a great filming scene. I kind of like the entire thing. It kind of had this weird element of like a kind of awkward wedding. Like, you've all been to your family weddings, and there's always this level of awkwardness. Like, there's always tensions brewing in there. In this case, it's much deeper tensions. You know, Tyrion happens to be married to Sansa, whose brother just got his head cut off last season, and her mom's throat slit. And her mom is now a zombie, not that anybody knows. You got Oberyn Martell, who is quickly becoming, I suspect will quickly become a fan favorite. He's already a fan favorite amongst the books readers, because he comes into King's Landing basically just to start trouble and being really sarcastic and awesome. In the show, they kind of really beefed up his sexuality, so he's making eyes with Loras Tyrell. And, yeah, why not? Sure. Hey, Oberyn don't got no scruples. They'll fuck basically anything that wants to be fucked. Yep, fine. Not how I personally live, but, I could see how that could be a lot of fun. I wouldn't fuck Loras Tyrell, just a thing. I have a little bit more class than that. Though, to be fair, Loras Tyrell got the best burn of the episode. And not just Melisandre burning the various heretics on Dragonstone. No. He got the best burn of the episode. Actually, no. Oberyn might have gotten it. We'll go over the 2 best burns. I'm just kind of rambling. There's no structure. It's freelancing. That's what happens. So Jamie goes up to Loras and he's like, "You want to marry my sister? I'm never fucking marrying my sister. I'll kill you before you marry my sister." And then Loras is like, "I'll never marry your sister, and neither will you." Burned, motherfucker! Poor Jamie, all he wants to do is be close to what is effectively his family at this point, kind of his wife, even though Cersei broke up with him last episode, which really surprised me as a book reader, because I remember the first time that Cersei and Jamie met in the books, it was actually well after the Purple Wedding, like their first actual meeting. They fucked right on the floor in a very inappropriate area. This is actually after Tywin got killed, and he was rotting, and they had sex right there. There you go. Sure. Second best burn, or possibly best burn, is Oberyn going up to Cersei. And Cersei was kind of a conversation going back and forth about how Oberyn's paramour, whose name I do not remember, Elena? Something Sand, I don't know, how she's a bastard, and she shouldn't be around. And then Oberyn is like, "Well, here in Dorne, we kind of value bastards more than most." And In Dorne, we don't celebrate rapists and murderers. Luckily, your daughter Marcella is in a place where bastards can flourish and rape and murder. I'm totally screwing up the line, but something like that. You know, because Marcella herself is a bastard, being Jaime's daughter. Definitely not King, fuck, what the name's the king? King Robert. What was the name of the king? Sorry, there's so many characters, and I'm bad with names anyway. I just kind of forget sometimes. So, King Robert, he hasn't been on the show for a number of years for a good reason. He's dead. So, what we've seen so far, getting beyond the Purple Wedding, and how awesome it was that Joffrey died. And, you know, you kind of feel bad celebrating that basically a teenager died on his wedding day, but he did go out of his way to be as unlikable as possible, right up to the end. Torturing Tyrion, cutting up a book, which, fuck you, man. You know, that's not cool. I don't care what the book is or what the reason is. You don't fucking cut up a book. And then, actually, they didn't mention this in the episode, but there were only 4 copies of that particular book that Tyrion gave. And at some point, I think Joffrey said, oh, now there's 3. Fuck you. Go be Draco Malfoy somewhere. Be dead. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I kind of feel bad for Jack Gleeson. I think he's retiring from acting, which is probably the best thing he could do, considering the actor who played Draco, whose name I don't remember, but the actor who played Draco, his career didn't exactly flourish after that series ended. I kind of guessed this, but he doesn't have very much range. I guess he did better than Rupert Grint did, who completely fell off the face of the earth, just like I predicted. But Draco, he wound up being in The Apparition, like the worst horror movie I may have ever seen. Seriously, The Apparition sucks balls. So, a big step down. So, if Jack Gleeson wants to go and pursue other things, probably the best thing you can do, because whenever anybody looks at him, they're just going to see Joffrey. And you really don't want that. In fact, I'm worried a lot of actors in this show are going to wind up getting typecast. Peter Dinklage has to start working, because I think Peter Dinklage is going to get beyond it. I know Lena Headey has, and a few other people, like Nikolaj Coster-Waldau. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right, Jamie. You've actually managed to be in a few movies, and this has been a big step forward for you. Other people, really not. I'd like to see Charles Dance actually get a much stronger career after this, because I've always kind of thought Charles Dance is a great actor, and he really, up until now, his best role was Alien 3. That's unfortunate, but Charles Dance, he's got a great name. You know. As for Jon Snow, I please, Kit Harington, please don't be in movies anymore. You don't got the range. You really don't. Anyway, going way back, let's talk about the other things that happened in the last 2 episodes, other than Joffrey dying, because that's kind of the big deal. Cool stuff. On the wall, nothing really going on. In Essos with Daenerys, nothing really going on. Bran saw a tree and had a freaky vision, which I always kind of like watching this show because I'm looking for, at some point they're going to have, at some point as they get closer to where George R. R. Martin is, they're going to have to put in what's kind of like a hint for what's going to have to come next. At some point they're going to have to see some foreshadowing, the stuff we don't know. So I watch this show looking for like little hints. Oh my god, is that going to happen? Like maybe a prophecy or something that's going to be in the 6th book, which I'm hoping will get finished at some point. You know, I'm going to be nice and patient. I got plenty of books to read, but I really would like to have The Winds of Winter. I really would. So I was watching The Vision, and unfortunately, really nothing, except for dragons flying over the Red King's Landing, on the Red Keep in King's Landing. Which, by the way, HBO, fuck you for using that particular image as the promo. Because, not to spoil too much, I guess, Daenerys, she is not getting to King's Landing this season. She's not getting there next season. She's not going to be there the season after. If she makes it to King's Landing in the Winds of Winter, I will eat my own hat. And then my shoes. And then my boots. I'm going to have a feast on my own clothing, because there's no fucking way. I would be surprised if she even makes it to fucking Pentos by the end of the Winds of Winter. You know, She may never make it to Westeros at all at the rate she's been going. What else has been going on? The North. The Dreadfort. The return of everybody's favorite, Roose Bolton. Roose Bolton, who kind of got tired of being Vladimir Putin for a little while and decided, you know what, I'm going to conquer half of Westeros. You know, I took Crimea, now I'm going to take Westeros. There you go. He's back. And he's back actually way early compared to the books. He doesn't manage to make it back until A Dance with Dragons, which the timeline's a little bit confused considering A Feast for Crows and A Dance with Dragons kind of happened at the same time, but not really. Dance with Dragons is a little after. But he managed to make it all the way back to the north, and it seems like they're going to be moving a few Dance with Dragons scenes into Season 4, which is surprising. I'm surprised they're doing that. Actually, the course of the season is something worth discussing. But anyway, what's happening there in the north is that Roose is now, you might not think Roose is that important. You should. I guess in the cosmic scheme of things, he's not exactly as Azor Ahai reborn. He's not really, but being a great traitor and a great villain, his position actually got improved much, much better now that Tyrion has been arrested and Joffrey's dead. The fact that there's a certain Lannister, or Baratheon, sorry, the fact that there's a certain kid on the throne means nothing to him, but what Tywin did, and rather brilliantly, through A Course of Marriage, and there's a slight bit of invention amongst the TV series, because Loras and Cersei were never at any point considered to get married, or if they did in the books, it was a minor plot point. It did not last like an entire book. But Tyrion kind of never really appreciated this, or he never really moved on it, but the fact that he's married to Sansa basically gives him the North. He has now taken over the Stark bloodline, which means there's Lannisters over in Lannisport. They have that territory. They have the crown. They have the north. And with Cersei married to Loras, they would have had the Reach too. And during the course of this season, that's all going to get overrun. But luckily for Roose, now that Tyrion's gone and Sansa has escaped, I didn't quite see her escape, but she did escape during the wedding. Now that she's gone, that means he has the north. His position is much more improved. Though, with Ramsay as his heir, one really can't imagine how great his life is going to be, how much improved it is. In fact, in the books, a little bit further ahead, at one point, Roose actually mentions offhandedly to Theon, of all people, Reek, that, I suspect that I'll be dead in a few years. The guy has got no illusions about where his life is going, but yet he continues on his path anyway. You kind of got to admire Roose. Anyway, I think I've run out of topics. Let me think. Is there anything else going on? Alright, here's a few changes. In the end of Season 3, they sent Aisha Greyjoy, whose name got changed. I forget what they changed it to, but she went to go save Theon, which never happened in the books. That seems to be possibly filler of some sort. And she's going to go and she's going to try to rescue him. And she's not going to succeed. And she actually has to get back to the Iron Islands in order for them to have their king's moot. Because the Iron King, he's going to be dead soon. You probably guessed that already, but he'll be dead soon enough. So I don't know what she's doing going to save Theon. That's really not going to happen. She really can't make it. Or maybe she will, and at some point she's going to meet up with Stannis through some convoluted way. I don't know. Maybe. They're kind of breaking away from the books, which is somewhat exciting, and something they might have to do, because in the course of the next few seasons, they're going to start to run into a real problem, which is, like, 2 years from now, they're going to need to make the Winds of Winter season, and George R. R. Martin probably, hopefully, will have the book done. And then for A Dream of Spring, I don't know what the hell they're going to do. It's worrisome. The other thing that's interesting is they sent the guy who is not Vargo Hoat. Actually, I forget. I think it's Vargo Hoat. Who is not in the series, but has been changed to this new character, Locke. He's been sent north to go grab Bran and Rickon. This character should be dead already, technically, but his book equivalent is dead, or will soon be dead. I think Gregor found him after he found out that Jaime's hand had got cut off, and Gregor fed him his own body parts until the guy died. But Locke, he's now going to go north, and I guess he's going to have some sort of filler adventure where he will get killed. Which is fine. In the Daenerys events, they added Marine to the opening credits, and much to my depression, Marine's going to be on the opening credits for a long goddamn time. You're gonna get so fucking sick of Marine, show watchers. I'm fucking sick of Marine. I hate fucking Marine. I hope it burns to the ground so quickly. And it still hasn't. I just can't wait for that city to be completely dust. Because fuck Marine. Fuck everything about that plotline. Could have just did not need to be. Just seriously, from what I can see, did not need to happen at all. But anyway, that's kind of my rambling thoughts about the return of Game of Thrones to television. It's the best show on HBO at the second, because True Detective's gone for a season. Also, Boardwalk Empire won't be back until autumn. So, that was that. Let me talk about blog stuff. This week, I plan to actually get posts written. This will be up tomorrow. Then, I gotta go through my backlog, which would be Captain America 2. I was thinking of doing a video thing. There's no time. I gotta get that posted. So, that's happening. I'll just write a post. It'll be easy. Then Bravely Default. I beat Bravely Default exactly a week ago. Great ending. Maybe not great ending, but it was a great RPG. A lot of fun. One of the best turn-based I've played since, well, I guess best new JRPG I've played since Dragon Quest IX. Just kind of depressing when you think about it. But anyway, what else is happening? Oh yes, I still have to see Oculus. I still have to see Draft Day, and I'll try to get posts written about that. As for movies coming out, let me go check. Actually, I'll use me. We'll go to my blog, and we'll scroll down, and because I haven't written very much, I can still find the April 2014 look ahead. It's right there. The Rio 2, no. Haunted House. Here it is. Basically, the only things that are coming out this weekend is, Bears, which looks adorable. I kind of want to take my baby brother to that. Maybe I'll get that done. And Transcendence, the Johnny Depp movie. Johnny Depp is Lawnmower Man. Also, Heaven is for Real, but fuck that movie. God damn you people for making that fucking movie. You bastards. You're fucking sick. You're terrible. You're exploitative. It's disgusting that movie happens at all. But bears! They're bears! I love it! The bear! It's a little bear riding on top of his mommy. Oh, it's so cute. I love it. Oh, I hope my little brother's not too old for bears. He's 6, so he's getting up there to the point that it's like you can't take him to a really baby movie anymore, but I just really want to see bears. It looks so lovely. So that's that. This was BlueHighwind. You were Space Monkeys. And that is it for Freelancing. Next week, the plan is to talk about JRPGs that I never quite managed to finish. We'll see. Thank you very much. Good night.